Good afternoon. It is Hallows Eve. Welcome to another Dresky video. Today, what we're going to get into is we're going to get into the Champion Fragment Summon event that is going on currently in Raid Shadow Legends. So, really hope you guys like the video. Make sure that you comment, rate, and subscribe. And yeah, we're gonna get into that. So today, what we're gonna get into, and I actually need to finish this off. I think I'm gonna do that in a little bit. But we have a artifact enhancement event active for ELEGAIUS here. Yeah, so just get up to here, the standard artifact event. So go ahead and get up to there and get your spoils. We also have a summon rush. You could get up to here pretty fast, and then it'll take a minute to get these. I might actually go for these just so that I could get my bad L to 6-star easily, because tomorrow we have a champion training event. So yeah, it's crazy how they align that perfectly with the summon rush. But yeah, we got that event coming up tomorrow. And then we also got a dragon tournament coming up tomorrow, which is going to be easy for me. I finally cleared Dragon 20. I'm still trying to put together teams to clear like the other dungeons at level 20, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, and we also have a classic arena takedown. This is actually really easy to do. Just go in there. It only take like around 30 minutes or so. You can really knock that out. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that first place. He's been sitting at 516 for a while, so I might actually go for that first place. What is that, like 50 something wins right now, because I'm in gold 4. So yeah, I might actually go for that. And I only got 3 voids and 4 ancients. We do have some deals here. I'm gonna get these 2. $35 is not that bad to me, so I'll go ahead and get these 2. I'm not getting this one because I've seen way better deals with sacred shards involved, and I'm not spending $100 for 4 sacred shards. That's all the way dead. This one, I thought about getting this one, but it do come with the 25 ancient shards. But the issue with this one to me, and it come with 100 XP potion or whatever, but you only get 7 books. Like if you got like 15 books or something, I will probably get that one, but I'm not getting that one either. And yeah, and I got some energy coming up today. So yeah, we're definitely gonna get into that. And what was I about to do? We're about to look at the champion here. So before we actually look at this champion, I actually want to quickly go over Vergamkar, because I believe he's one of the best champions in the game, in my opinion. He made it so that I could barely complete or barely be able to win consistently in arena, to now I'm winning pretty consistently in arena. Because when I go against, like, there's a lot of people that use like provoke champions, and that stuff is kind of annoying. So he's immune to provoke, as well as removing he is a debuffer as well as a cleanser, which is insane to me. Removes all provoke debuffs and 1 random debuff from all allies. Places an increased defense buff for 2 turns on an ally who had debuffs removed. Also places a shield buff on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. So I built him out with a lot of HP. I do need to level this up, and the shield to be hefty, as well as being on a 3-turn cooldown. And he has a very high percentage chance of getting a stun to happen, as well as chances increased by 15% for each buff on the target, which is insane. And he attacks all enemies, removes 1 random buff from each enemy, has a 75% chance of removing 2 buffs from each enemy, and places a 100% heal reduction debuff on whoever for 3 turns who have 1 or more buffs removed. Also places 60% in decreased defense debuff for 2 turns on enemies who have 2 buffs removed. Dude, this champion is really good to me. I really like him a lot. And his turn meter goes up 20% each time somebody try to place a provoke on him. Like, he's a really good champion. I really wish more people would have infused him because he's really good. He's a really good champion to me. I really love him. I use him everywhere, especially like when I go against like Krisk and like other champions and stuff. Like, and he takes away like their buffs and like replace with heal reduction so they can't heal. Like, it's just crazy, man. He's a really nice champion. I feel like a lot of people were more they weren't as they were too strict on him, I believe. So we do have ELEGAIUS here, which is the Fragment Summon champion that we're going after. He has attacks 1 enemy, has a 25% chance of placing a block cooldowns debuff for 1 turn. The chance increases by 0.75% for every 1% of HP this champion loses. So he is an HP. His damage is scaled on HP. You could buff this to a 35% chance, and then from there on out, when you lose around 50% of your health, I think you get like around 15 to 20 something percent added on to this. So you could get close to like 60 something or 70 something chance of that happening. And then if he's like really low, it's probably gonna happen a lot frequently. We also have attacks 1 enemy, puts the target skill on cooldown. If the enemy has any duplicates of the target champion, it will also put all of their skills on cooldown, which is crazy. This is really good for like faction wars and stuff. When I watched Hell Hades' video, he was talking about it. He said that this would be pretty decent for faction wars because it has like multiple champions of the like same champion sometimes when you go in faction wars. But yeah, put the target skills on cooldown. And then we also got attacks all enemies, have a 75% chance of removing 2 random buffs, has a 75% chance of decreasing all enemies' turn meters by 20%, decreases the enemy turn meter by a further 0.2% for every 1% of HP this champion loses. You could book that up to a 100% chance of all that stuff happening. And it reminds me, this skill actually reminds me of Vergumkar. Vergumkar has the chance of removing 2 and then placing a decreased defense and a heal reduction. This guy just removes 2 and then decreases the turn meter. So pretty essentially the same skill set in terms of removing the buffs. It's crazy how they won't just say attacks all enemies and then removes like all buffs or something like that, because Madame Sarah's, she can remove all the buffs in general. Like, so it's just weird to me. And she's an epic, so, and she can do that. So I feel like a lot of these champions that just has a chance to remove 2 random buffs should be like removes all buffs, but it's being a little too greedy, I guess. And it looked like they're going this path with a lot of the new legendaries coming out. Like, they have chances of removing 2 random things or doing 2 random things, and then if this doesn't land, then this lands. Like, so it looked like they're going down that path, which is okay. They're probably going to nerf a lot of the champions that we use or that we like to use. But yeah, that's him. Oh, his passive is prevents this champion's death, keeps him alive on 1 HP when hit with the fatal hit. If this skill prevents this champion's death, heals them by 10% of their max HP, fills the turn meter by 20%, places a shield buff on them equal to 30% of their max HP for 2 turns, and will not prevent this champion. It will not prevent this champion's death if they are under a heal reduction debuff. So I feel like this skill here actually really aligns with like what I was saying about Vergumkar. He can make like Vergumkar can counter this champion as well as counter a lot of champions in the arena, even though he's negative affinity, so he'll get weak hits. I've seen like the freaking heal reduction thing lands quite frequently, so I would definitely like. That's what I'm saying. Like Vergumkar is actually way better than a lot of people put him out to be. Like everybody's kind of hyped about this new champion, but Vergumkar, man, he was really good. It took a lot more to get him, actually, but he's really good to me. He's probably like one of the best champions in the game for arena, especially because a lot of people like to use provokes and stuff. So that's ELEGAIUS there. We also have Little Miss Annie. Dude, I really want her. Like, she looks so freaking cool, man. Like, really. That's insane. Like, look at all of these abilities she has. Increase ally attack in all battles by 38%. But look at she is kind of her HP is decent for an attack champion. She also has really good attack. Her defense is really low though. Her speed is pretty good. She also get the little crit damage, and then she also gets some resist, which is nice. Actually, before we go into her, we didn't look at ELEGAIUS' total stats. So he does have a really high max HP, low attack, but that doesn't matter because his damage scales on HP. He has really good defense, actually, really good speed. So he is a really good champion. He also has 30 on the resist and 20 accuracy. So I believe he's a really good champion. Little Miss Annie, he has attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff. So she can also be a counter to ELEGAIUS. Like, you could really get her and just probably melt the dude. She has attacks one enemy 2 times, place a 50% increased accuracy buff on this champion for 2 turns before attacking if they are before attacking if the target is under a shield buff. So if they're under a shield buff, she'll put a increased attack on herself. We'll ignore 25% of the target's defense if the target is under a shield buff. So she places increased attack on herself and ignores the target's defense 25%. She also places a perfect veil buff on this champion for 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. Fills the champion's turn meter by 30% if this attack does not kill the target. So she'll get some turn meter back. She's a really nice champion. And actually with her, I would put her in a Savage set too. Like, she can be really nice. Put her in like Savage gear and then probably put like flawless execution, which would be crazy. She also got attacks one enemy, will ignore 25% of the target's defense if the target has a higher defense than this champion, which will probably happen more often than not. Decreases the target's max HP by 25% of the damage inflicted if the target has a higher max HP than this champion, which will probably happen if you're attacking like tanks and stuff. So she will ignore defense as well as decreasing max HP. So she's actually pretty insane. Because she's an attack champion, her defense and her HP will most likely be lower than most champions, so she'll go crazy for like just destroying people. We'll repeat attack a second time if the target has both higher defense and higher max HP than this champion, which will probably happen. So yeah, that's crazy. And then the damage can be booked up quite a bit, and this is a 4-turn cooldown, which is insane. This one can be a 2-turn cooldown, which is nice. So she has a perfect veil. Wow, perfect veil. If this attack kills the enemy for 2 turns on the 2-turn cooldown, so once her perfect veil ends, she goes back into another perfect veil probably to prevent damage from happening to her, which is really nice. When revived, attacks the enemy that killed this champion with the default skill. Also also fills this champion's turn meter by 25% and places a shield buff on this champion equal to 50% of their max HP for 2 turns. Man, she is insane. She is probably the best champion to me. Like, she may not be the best in the game, but to me, like, she might be the best attack champion in the game to me. Like, these skills are crazy. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 5% and a 100% chance of decreasing the target's max HP by 5%. This is just regular hits, any hit that she does. Of the damage inflicted when attacking other enemies under a heal reduction debuff. So they have to be under a heal reduction. So she could pair well again with Virgo card because he puts a heal reduction on the whole team, and then you could just go off with her after that. Will not heal from damage inflicted by mastery. So it says also heals his champion with 5% of the damage inflicted when attacking enemies under heal reduction debuffs, but it will not heal from damage inflicted by masteries. So yeah, that's just not to make her like too OP, but yeah, for the most part, she's a really good champion. She already got some reviews. She got 5s everywhere. That's crazy. But yeah, that is Little Miss Annie, and yeah. So I don't know who else we had. We had somebody else. I know we had somebody else. Is it her? I think it is. Actually, I won't just be doing whatever. We also have the news update. So yeah, that it is her. And then we also got this guy from Bannerlords, I believe. Okay, so right now, I'm actually going to save my shards until November 1st on Sunday to try to get the 2x chance to summon Little Miss Annie and all that stuff for Void Shards. So I'm actually going to do that. And then the increased chance to get Norma to return and Mass Fearmonger from Ancient or Sacred Shards. So I'm actually going to do that. I think I'm going to do this one because these are last year's champions. But yeah, let's look at her, and then we're gonna look at Mass Fearmonger, and then that'll be the video. So yeah, so it was her. Night Revenant. Okay, so there's the other champion that we get today, Norma the Return. She kind of looks like freaking Pinhead to me almost, but she's a support champion, Magic Affinity. She has a decent amount of HP, really decent amount. I wish it was like 20k, but this is a decent amount. Really decent attack and defense. Her speed is at 100, which is nice. She also has like some accuracy and some resist. So she has attacks one enemy has a 40% chance of increasing the duration of 3 random debuffs on the target by 1 turn. So that could be up to a 50% chance of that happening. She also has attacks one enemy has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack for 3 turns. Also heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. Then the heal increases by 2% for each poison debuff on the target. So this sounds like a clan boss champion actually. Because you could increase the duration of 3 random debuffs, as well as for each poison, it increases the heal by 2% on top of like the 15%. So yeah, it sounds like a clan boss champion. She also got ally increase in dungeon defense by 80. Then she has attacks one enemy has a 75% chance of placing 5% poison debuffs and a 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 3 turns, which can be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. So you'll have that, and then this could be booked up to a 100% chance as well. So definitely a clan boss champion. She's really nice. She looks really cool actually. Like a little energy floating around her. She looks actually really cool. So yeah, she's definitely a clan boss champion. Definitely a champion that you would really want on your team. So that's why I'm going to save my shards until Sunday, and then we're going to pull shards and try to see if we could get something. But and banner lords, and we have mass fearmonger. He does not even look like a banner lord champion. Like he kind of looked like the Night Revenant champion still, because they got like that weird looking aesthetic to them, like this guy and stuff. Like he does not look like a Bannerlord champion at all. But yeah. So let's look at his skills. He has attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit decreases the target's turn meter by 7.5%. If the target is under a fear or a true fear debuff, he will work good with Harvest Jack as well as probably Madame Ceres or something. Like you could put like a whole team that has fear, probably Imshalad. So have him with Imshalad, Mass Fearmonger, Imshalad, Madame Ceres, and Harvest Jack, and you'll probably just go crazy with him. Reduces the cooldown this champion's Taste of Despair skill by 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. He has attacks one enemy has a 75% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn, and a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Has a 75% chance of placing a true fear debuff on 2 enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. 1 true fear debuff will be placed on an enemy with the lowest turn meter, while the other one will be placed on an enemy with the highest turn meter. So this is a really decent skill, and it can be booked up to a 100% chance of that happening, as well as getting some damage there. This probably hits hard, I would assume, because it got like the little damage buffs there. I'm assuming that it would hit decently hard. We have Well-Used Axe. Attacks one enemy will ignore 35% of the target's defense if the target is under a fear or true fear debuff, which is, again, and it works well. It synergizes well with like a Harvest Jack because he puts true fear on like the whole team. Places a 30% increased speed buff for 2 turns, a revive on death buff for 2 turns, and a block debuffs buff for 1 turn on this champion if this attack kills an enemy. And it looked like it could have a decent amount of attack or damage, as well as being on a 4-turn cooldown. And his passive is fills the champion's turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy's HP drops below 20%. So once you get them critical, he'll get 50% turn meter, which can be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. And when you kill somebody with this skill, it decreases the cooldown of this. So he'll work really good in Faction Wars, actually. So I actually want to pull him for Faction Wars. And it's funny because I think if you look, you could really see his eyes, dude. Like, it looked like his eyes are like closed. Oh wait, no, never mind, they're open. But that is it. Those are the champions that we have today. I ended up getting Septimus, so I'm gonna have Septimus in the lineup, in my lineup with, if I can get him, and then we're gonna have freaking Stag Knight in my Faction Wars lineup. We're gonna have a pretty decent Faction Wars lineup. I actually really like Rowan for Faction Wars. She hits like a truck, man. She really hits like a truck, especially this ability here. Dude, it wrecks. It really wrecks. And then this ability also does a decent amount of damage. Like she's a pretty good champion, dude. But all right, you guys, comment, rate, subscribe once again. I really hope you guys enjoy. We're gonna have another video coming out soon as well because I missed a day. We're gonna have a video on my free-to-play account because I just won one of the events on my free-to-play account. So really hope you guys enjoy. Comment, rate, subscribe once again, and yeah, as always.
No, wait!
He should have hit the like button.